Welcome to Patina Talks, our audio series that showcases and shares the expertise and insights of Patina professionals to help you and your organization. All Patina Talks can be found at patinasolutions.com.
Welcome to Patina Talks. I'm Mike Harris, the CEO of Patina Solutions. I'm pleased to have Ed Cannon on the show today. Ed's a leader in the area of using artificial intelligence in corporations. Ed's helped several of Patina's clients understand how artificial intelligence can be helpful to them in a variety of key business areas. Ed, welcome to Patina Talks.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Happy to be here.
Well, before we start, I guess I'd like to just get a little bit about your background, sort of the most relevant parts that really relate to why you decided to get into the area of artificial intelligence.
Sure, Mike. The reason I got into artificial intelligence was a natural outgrowth of work I've been doing over the years in big data, analytics, customer experience, and e-commerce. Since my approach is always focused on how you can monetize technology, our perspective of from the computer room to the boardroom has really showed us that AI is going to enable a lot of change, strategic change, tactical change, operational change. And we just think it's a really exciting area to be in right now, and it offers a lot of opportunities.
Great. Well, I read a definition that artificial intelligence is really the capability of a machine to imitate intelligent human behavior. Is that how you would define it?
Mike, I think that's a great way of looking at it. The metaphor we mention is that we say artificial intelligence is from the shoulder up. If you think of existing corporate systems, it's all about moving things, and that's our arms, our legs, our torso. AI is really about all the things that happens above the shoulder. So being able to recognize images, videos, machine learning, deep learning, voice to text, text to voice. Those are all of the AI technologies that are really changing the paradigm. So I think you're spot on.
Are there a few good examples that are sort of easy for people to grasp and understand of where artificial intelligence has made a big impact on companies?
I think the one we're probably most familiar with is Alexa with Amazon and how it's enabled conversational commerce. The interesting thing about Alexa and Echo, the platform it's built on, is that it's also being enabled and incorporated into other products by other manufacturers. So this idea of conversational commerce is a really, really big idea. Another example is image recognition. There's a firm in China that uses AI for image recognition for radiology purposes to detect cancer. And I think another one that many of us are familiar with is preferences. How do you get to your personal preferences on Netflix? There's a lot of ML, machine learning behind that. In fact, Netflix used to run competitions on improving their algorithms to improve the preferences.
So there's obviously a lot of companies jumping into this whole artificial intelligence area. What do they expect to gain from it?
Mike, what we see and what I see with clients is really two things, opportunities and threats. People are looking for ways to understand where the opportunities are, what their offensive strategy can be, and then also begin to think about how a new entrant or an existing traditional competitor could disrupt their marketplace with AI. So those are the really two things we see, kind of an offensive play or a defensive play. But the bottom line is I think everyone wants to be competitive. They see AI as the most disruptive technology that will occur over the next 10 years, and they just want to make sure that they can compete.
Well, it makes a lot of sense. Are there parts of a business where they would benefit, do you think, the most from smart artificial intelligence approaches?
What we see today, Mike, is that the areas where you're getting the most significant benefits is marketing, customer experience, sales, new product development, new sales development. Really, I focus primarily on the top line. So how do we use AI to drive top line growth? And you see things everywhere from persona development to segmentation analysis and marketing. In experience, customer experience, intelligent agents are playing a very big role in that area. New product development, again, intelligence being embedded into products, or AI actually developing new services for companies. So we really see most of the focus, or I see most of the focus, on top line growth.
And are there certain industries that you think are going to benefit either sooner or just more broadly?
The ones that are benefiting the most today are healthcare, marketing services, education, and government. I think what's going to happen is these are the early adopters of the technology. I think as use cases begin to develop and people begin to see how they can carry one use case from one industry over to another industry, I think we'll see kind of that S-curve grow, and we'll just see a higher penetration. And ultimately, I think it's going to impact every industry, every business out there.
Yeah, how about size of companies? Certainly you can understand how an Amazon can make a massive investment, and they've got a huge customer base and tons of money to do whatever they need to do. But can artificial intelligence be something that even a smaller company starts to think about and execute?
Really good question, Mike. Early on, bigger companies had an advantage. And they had an advantage because of dollars. They had an advantage because of the amount of data that they had access to. But what's happening is those barriers are dropping. For instance, today you could buy data from many, many different content sources that you can use to train your intelligent agents on. The programming skills that you need today aren't necessarily as high as what they used to be. In the past, you really needed a data scientist. Today, you need more of a data engineer. And then the other thing is that for talented people, those really talented data scientists, their access to tools is unfeathered. It's all open source. I think probably the best way to say that is generative algorithms, which arguably are the most exciting thing to have happened in AI over the last 20 years, was coded by I believe he was a PhD student in London after out with a couple of beers with his friends, had an idea around a generative algorithm, went home to his flat, created the code, tested it, and it worked the first time. So there's really no entry barriers at all anymore for innovation. So I think where in the past the size of the company had an advantage, I don't think it has an advantage anymore.
Yeah, and that's certainly a nice plug for beer, too. So as you start thinking about a company that might want to start considering AI or starting to actually make some investments, how do they get prepared? What should they do as an organization?
I think step number one is you have to adopt a culture of learning. Peter Senge from MIT, I think, said it best when he said, a learning organization is really the only true sustainable competitive advantage. So I think in a learning organization, you have to foster aspirations, especially in the AI field. We're not looking at a 30% return on investment here. We're looking for a 3x or a 30x return on investment. There's also the need to understand complexity, cause and effect, what the changes of AI, what might be doing to your industry. And then I think you need to take a formal, disciplined approach to AI new product development.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit about that formal approach? I know that's something you believe pretty deeply in.
The AI art of the possible is our innovation stage gate process. It's a multi-stage gate where you can stop at the end of each stage gate. And the concept is you learn about AI as you go from one stage gate to the next. The first stage is what we call AI 101. It's a learning seminar where we level set our clients. Stage two is we enter a conceptualization phase where we work with our clients to identify potential uses of AI within their organization. The idea here is really to get as broad-based number of ideas as possible. Stage 3 is once we narrow those broad ideas down to a manageable few, we do a proof of technology. One thing about AI is it's still a predictive technology. It's still a young technology, so you do have to prove out your use cases in something like an IBM garage or some sort of other lab. And then if we get through that, and then we work with our clients to do a minimal viable product or a demo, or sometimes we just go right into development.
Excellent. Well, clearly the power of artificial intelligence means it's here to stay, and it's likely going to expand to a lot more uses. So what are your thoughts on the future of artificial intelligence in corporate America?
It is clearly the dominant enabler of change, and the management teams we're working with are aware of this and trying to figure out how or if they need to play in it. The whole industry, the whole technology base around AI is constantly evolving. There's new algorithms, there's new data, there's new approaches. So I think, when you look at Gartner, and Gartner says AI is the most disruptive technology over the next 10 years, I don't think there's any reason to challenge that statement. It clearly seems it's going to have a massive impact on how we buy, sell, build products, and how we interact with our customers.
Well, Ed, I really want to thank you for joining us today to talk about artificial intelligence. I'm sure our listeners learned a lot about what AI means and why it is so important to be thinking about using it in so many businesses of different sizes and industries. So I'm Mike Harris. Thanks for listening to Patina Talks.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Patina Talks. We trust it provided valuable insights to help you and your organization. All Patina Talks can be found and accessed at patinasolutions.com.